Okay. You know that as usual at the beginning we do the incense offering that comes with 3 bows or prostrations, whatever your body allows. So, get ready for that. Welcome everyone for another Fusatsu ceremony, which is basically the atonement, recommitment to the precept ceremony. Can you hear me well? Give me an okay. Ah, lovely. Thank you. We do this every month, and we chose to do it on the day of the full moon. Spot on. But usually it's done um, either in the middle of the month or the last day of the month, and sometimes both. But we do it whenever the full moon happens to be. So that's today. And this ceremony is been going on for a couple thousands of years. So it's fairly important, I guess, for all of the Buddhist traditions, which makes it a very special occasion for the Sangha, in my opinion. And I'm very, very happy to be able to do this every month with all of you. And so I'm grateful for your presence. Okay, there's going to be a lot of bowing and a lot of prostrations. My usual warning is, or advice is, please do as your body allows you to do. If you can do full prostrations, lovely. If you can do deep gashos, bows in gasho, do that. Whatever is accessible to you. Okay. The great precepts of Gautama Buddha were kept by all Buddhas. They were transmitted from Buddha to Buddha, and they were received by ancestor after ancestor. Our great master, Gautama Buddha, transmitted the precepts to Master Mahakashyapa. Master Mahakashyapa transmitted the precepts to Master Ananda, And the transmission of the precepts has continued in this way, passing from orthodox successor to orthodox successor in one line. Now we reaffirm our commitment to the precepts, to return the profound benevolence of Gautama Buddha. We trust this to be the true reception of Gautama Buddha's wisdom and life. Respectfully following the approval of Gautama Buddha, we would like to devote ourselves to the precepts, beginning with atoning for past misdeeds. At this moment, if you wish, you could either kneel as a form of respect. If that's not your thing, you can just sit as you are. And you can give a deep gasho at the end of each repetition of the verse of atonement, which we're going to do right now.
All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all. All harmful acts, words, and thoughts ever committed by me since of old, on account of beginningless greed, anger, and ignorance, born of my body, mouth, and mind, now I atone for them all.
We will now pay homage to the seven Buddhas, and so at the end, well, at the beginning of each of these repetitions, there is a bell hit. So you can do a deep gasho, or you can do a prostration if you wish with each of these. It's a lot of prostrations.
Homage to the seven Buddhas of the past. Homage to Shakyamuni Buddha, a person of this earth. Homage to Miroku Buddha, symbol of hope for the future. Homage to Monju Bodhisattva, symbol of great wisdom. Homage to Fugen Bodhisattva, symbol of great activity. Homage to Kanzeon Bodhisattva, symbol of great compassion. Homage to the successive generations of ancestor bodhisattvas.
Okay. I was thinking, I have been thinking for the last few days about the ceremony and the importance of it, like I said before. And a question was asked a few days ago. Bill, it was actually you. You raised the question, is it appropriate for this ceremony to, is it for everyone, or is it only for those in the Sangha that have formally taken the precepts? Which happens at Jukai. That's when we formally receive the precepts from a preceptor. We sew the precept robe, which is the 5-panel okesa, which in our case it's the rakusu. And from that moment on, we are entrusted with maintaining and keeping the precepts. And so, we had a little conversation among the priests with Jindo, and it was a very short conversation, literally one question, one answer. And we all settled on the fact that yes, it is more than appropriate for everyone to be included in the ceremony. And so that made me think, why? Which is the logical question. And I thought about this, and we're going to look at the precepts in just a minute. I'm trying not to make this long, and I'm trying not to make this sound as anything official or very serious. Please don't take it like that. We're going to look at the precepts in a minute as we're going to recite each of them. So as we look at the precepts, it's fairly easy to realize that they point to all of the forms that we can take. And that means what is in those precepts both exists and doesn't exist at the same time within this very mind. I can be kind right now and very mean the next minute. I can be generous or I can be stingy. I can lie right now because it's in my best interest, and I can be very, very honest in the next minute because it doesn't cost me that much. Or whatever the situation, but all of these seemingly opposing concepts and traits exist at the same time within this very mind. And so it's not just our mind, it's all of the minds. It's all of us that are subjected to life lived through the lens of delusion. None of us can escape that. So that makes the precepts universal, not individual. They apply to everyone, everywhere, all the time. So they can't just be a personal concern. And sometimes we might think, when I take the precepts, that's a me thing. Right? I take the precepts and I've done this and it was my choice and it's a personal thing. You don't need to talk about it or whatever the situation, right? But truly, we're just fortunate, I think, as Buddhists, that we have been given a teaching that clarifies how we function in this world. And I think by taking the precepts, by saying yes when we're told, try to be like this, we acknowledge that all of those things exist at the same time within this mind. And we acknowledge that we are utterly incapable of keeping all the precepts all the time. And so our very lovely wording is try as best as we can within this body and life to keep those precepts. And so this, like I said at the beginning, this ceremony actually is called a confession or atonement ceremony, more traditionally. And so that atonement basically is not like in the Christian sense, I would say, but it's more of an acknowledgement of that delusion that we exist in, of our understanding of it, and our commitment to work as best as we can to navigate it based on the precepts. And because we are a body of practitioners, all of us right now, Karen, Koriki, Bill, Michael, everyone. We practice together like potatoes in a sack. All of those imperfections, all of those weaknesses that we bring with us bloom. And so we come together and we acknowledge that we're incapable of keeping the precepts, and we atone in that sense together during the ceremony, and then we try our best to control how we respond in our day-to-day life within that spectrum from good to bad, kind, unkind. We're always sliding through it, I think. And so this very ceremony is extremely important, I think, because it is a joint atonement, not a individual atonement, which happens every time we sit zazen, basically. And I think it's, for those of us that have taken the precepts, it is a wonderful reminder of why we did it. And it's sort of like keeping that flame burning of our determination to stay with the precepts, to practice with them. And for those that maybe haven't yet taken the precepts, I hope this ceremony is a little seed planted so that maybe that determination blooms sometime in the future. That would be wonderful. And so because of all that, the next part of the ceremony, after we've atoned, which is what we did with the first verse that we recited, we've invoked all of the Buddhas that symbolize all of those wonderful traits that we try to embody. We get to the part where we actually symbolically purify ourselves. And purification, cleansing happens with water. So, if you brought water, I'm sorry I made that very, very long. It wasn't my intention. I didn't know how to make it shorter, so I apologize. If you brought water and a little foliage, we can use that. If you haven't brought it, it's okay. I will sprinkle towards you and maybe in the process ruin my computer. We use a little piece of foliage or something and water, our fingers, to sprinkle ourselves 3 times, and that symbolically shows we're purifying ourselves and we're getting ourselves prepared for the next bit, which is actually hearing the precepts. So let's do that. Just, 3 times. And for those of you that don't have water, there you go. Clean as a whistle. So now that we've done that, we are ready to actually hear and recommit to our precepts. All you disciples of the Buddha, join your palms in reverence and listen wholeheartedly. I would like now to articulate the preface to the great precepts of the Buddhas. If the members of the assembly will quietly listen and they know that they have done wrong, they will atone. If they atone, they will be at ease. If they do not repent, their wrongdoing will grow more grievous. Those who have done wrong are silent. And because of their silence, you should know that they are all purified. Worthy monks, laymen, laywomen, and all the rest, listen well. In this difficult age, when the lifetime of the Buddha sometimes seems distant, you should revere the Pratimoksha. The Pratimoksha is none other than these precepts. When you observe these precepts, it is like darkness meeting with light. It is like someone poor attaining a treasure. It is like someone who is ill being healed. It is like a prisoner being released from his chains. It is like a traveler who is able to return home. You should know that these rules are the great teacher for this assembly of people, no different from the presence of the Buddha in the world here and now. Thoughts of fear are difficult to produce. Unwholesome thoughts are difficult to give rise to. Therefore, a sutra says, do not trivialize minor misdeeds as if they're not problematic. Drops of water, although tiny, will gradually fill a large basin. A single instant of wrongdoing can lead you to fall into a hell of uninterrupted suffering. Once you lose your human body, you may not get another one for 10,000 kalpas. Just as a galloping horse, one's physical strength will not remain. The transience of human life goes beyond the mountains and seas. Even if something remains for the duration of one day, it will be quite difficult to hold on to it tomorrow. Members of the assembly should energetically advance their own minds. Be careful not to be lazy, negligent, drowsy, or arbitrary. In the evening, you must gather your thoughts and focus them firmly on the three treasures. Don't take as being a waste of time the effort to deepen your repentance for those of later generations. Members of the assembly, each of you in your own minds should carefully rely on these precepts. Discipline yourselves in the practices that accord with the Buddha's teachings. And now let's together reaffirm our commitment to the precepts. Today I reaffirm my commitment to seek as I can in this body and life to avoid doing harm, to seek as I can in this body and life to live in a helpful and helping way, doing good, to seek as I can in this body and life to live for the benefit of all sentient beings, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from the killing of life, to seek as I can in this body and life to live in generosity and refrain from taking that which is not given, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from misusing sexuality and all desire, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from false and malicious speech, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from intoxication in its many forms, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from unconstructively criticizing the errors and faults of others, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from praising oneself and judging others, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from stinginess in bestowing the Buddhist teachings and all precious things, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from all anger, to seek as I can in this body and life to refrain from disparaging the three treasures, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. For this part, which is the refuge verse, there is a small bell at the end, which means dip bow or prostration, whatever you can do physically. So don't push yourself too much. Push yourself a little. Give me 1 second, Gote. Okay.
I take refuge in Buddha, May all living beings embody the great way and give rise to the highest aspiration. I take refuge in Dharma. May all living beings enter deeply into the sutras, that ocean of wisdom. I take refuge in Sangha. May all living beings support harmony in the community, free from all hindrances.
And now together we recite the Bodhisattva vows.
To save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable, to save all sentient beings, though beings numberless, to transform all delusions, though delusions inexhaustible, to perceive reality, though reality is boundless, to attain the enlightened way, a way non-attainable.
Abiding in this ephemeral world, may we exist in muddy water with purity like a lotus. Nothing escapes the boundless mind. Thus we bow to Buddha. Buddha nature pervades the whole universe. Reality existing right here now. In reaffirming our commitment to the precepts, we dedicate our sincere efforts to Shakyamuni Buddha, Honored One, the historical Buddha and teacher, to the all-pervading and everlasting three treasures, to all arhats and bodhisattvas, mahasattvas, and their relations throughout the Dharma world. May we all realize and live the enlightened way together. All Buddhas throughout space and time. All Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Maha Prajna, Paramita. Thank you very much, everyone. I really appreciate all of you being here today. It's a very special occasion, I think. We've been doing this for years now, and it's always a joy. And I hope I see all of you next month again. We will have more things to atone for, I guess. Because, we're human. So thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day, and see you next time. Thank you. Okay.